You ever walk past some big, complicated piece of industrial gear and just think, what in the world does that do? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of those exact devices. It's a real unsung hero in the world of fire safety, a gatekeeper that stands between a simple problem and a total catastrophe.
All right, take a look at this thing. It's a whole mess of pipes and gauges, all bolted onto this one beefy red body. I mean, it just looks important, doesn't it? And you'd be right. This one device is designed to unleash an absolute torrent of water, but with incredible precision. So the big question is, how?
So, to get what this device does, you first have to understand where it lives. This is the heart and soul of what's called a Deluge fire protection system. Now think about places like a power plant, a huge aircraft hangar, or a chemical facility. Places where a tiny spark can turn into an absolute inferno in just a few seconds. In a spot like that, you don't need a sprinkler. No, you need a flood. A massive, overwhelming downpour that covers the entire area all at once.
And this is the Tyco DV5 Deluge valve. It's the gatekeeper for that flood. You can think of it like the world's most serious bouncer. It just stands guard 24/7, holding back a tremendous amount of water, just waiting for that one signal to open the gates.
But here's what's so brilliant about the DV5. It's how it stays closed. It's not about brute force, not at all. The secret is kind of wild and honestly super clever. It's held shut by the very same water it's designed to release.
Okay, so the official technical manual puts it like this. Now I know, that sounds a little dense, but what it's describing is this really elegant dance of physics. The whole thing works on a principle called differential pressure. Let's break down what that actually means in plain English. In simple terms, it's like a hydraulic judo move. The valve uses the water's own immense pressure against itself. It's not about fighting that massive force head-on, it's about cleverly redirecting it to turn it into a perfectly stable, sealed barrier.
So here's the magic trick. On one side, you've got the main water supply, just pushing, constantly trying to burst through. But a tiny little tube diverts a bit of that water into a sealed area called the diaphragm chamber. And because that trapped pressure is pushing on a much larger surface area inside the valve, it actually creates a stronger closing force. It's amazing! A small, cleverly applied force is holding back a giant.
So this valve just sits there, in this state of perfect balance, just waiting. But then, the alarm goes off. Smoke is detected. It's go time. The mission now is to completely shatter that perfect balance, and fast. It's time to unleash the deluge.
Okay, so what happens? Well, an electronic detection system, could be a heat sensor, a smoke detector, whatever, it sends an urgent electrical signal. And that signal is the trigger for a super fast, totally unstoppable chain reaction.
The whole game changes right here, at step 2. That electrical signal flips on a tiny little component called a solenoid valve. Its only job is to pop open and create a small escape route for that trapped water in the diaphragm chamber. The water shoots out, the pressure holding the main valve shut just vanishes, and with that opposing force gone, the main water supply wins, instantly. And we're not talking about a slow, creaky opening here. The pressure drop is catastrophic and it's immediate. The diaphragm inside the valve is thrown open, and the full, raw power of the water main is released into the sprinkler system. From the first signal to a full-on flood, it happens in a flash.
You know, to give you a sense of the power we're talking about, these valves are rated for up to 250 psi. Now, your water pressure at home? It's probably around 50 psi, maybe. This is a whole different league of force, held in check by a little hydraulic trick and then unleashed in the blink of an eye. So the fire's out. The deluge did its job. Fantastic. But now you have a new problem. Thousands of gallons of water are pouring into your facility every minute. And this brings us to one of the DV5's absolute best features, the smart reset. I mean, seriously, think about it. With that much water flowing, how do you even begin to shut it down safely? In older systems, you might need a whole crew to go in there and manually wrench some giant valve closed, maybe in a place that's still pretty hazardous. There had to be a better way, right?
While there is, the DV5's real superpower is its ability to be reset remotely. From the safety of a control room, miles away if needed, an operator can shut down the flood without ever getting close to the valve itself.
And the way it closes is just as elegant as the way it opens. The operator just sends a signal to close that same little solenoid valve that started the whole thing. With the escape route sealed off, the diaphragm chamber starts to refill, the pressure builds back up, that hydraulic judo move gets re-engaged, and the main valve just smoothly seals itself shut.
So when you really step back and look at it, you realize this isn't just a chunk of metal. It's a rapid response, high-powered, and intelligently controlled safety system. This is a perfect example of some seriously clever engineering that at the end of the day saves lives.
And these things are built to last. I mean, the scale of these valves tell you everything you need to know about durability. They start at about 10 pounds for a small 2-inch pipe, and they go all the way up to a massive 150 pounds for the 8-inch models. This is heavy-duty, industrial-grade hardware built to work perfectly under the most extreme pressure.
So, the Tyco DV5. It's really so much more than just a valve. It's a compact, intelligent guardian. It's a critical piece of the safety puzzle that stands watch in all these dangerous places, ready to go in an instant. It is, for sure, an unseen hero.
And that kind of leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? Our world is absolutely full of brilliant devices just like this, operating silently in the background. What other hidden engineering marvels are out there, quietly keeping all of us safe every single day?